Garrett from San Bernardino, California. On a recent episode, you both were discussing wrestlers who you wouldn't think would be trainers. Norman Smiley comes to mind. He's trained several of the current names in WWE, and I've always believed Norman was far better than how he was utilised on American TV. Wondered if Dutch had ever met Norman, possibly in TNA during his 06-07 stint. Thank you for the work. So, any stories about Norman Smiley?
Well, no, he's from England, correct?
I believe so. Yeah.
He's an Englishman. He has the accent. Very good. He's a shooter, what they call a guy that can legitimately wrestle, and pretty good sized guy, and very nice. And the thing about shooters training people, they train them to kind of shoot, but they don't really train them to work. And he had his own style, and I've never known him to even work in the States. I think who's he working? Is he working for WWE now?
Yeah, he's a trainer in WWE now.
Yeah.
He wrestled for WCW their last few years, but he was always a comedy character. He did the big wiggle. He always had trunks that were like 3 sizes too small for him. He was never taken seriously in WCW, but then somehow he gets a name as a trainer, and he's like one of WWE's most prized trainers now.
Well, and that surprises me. I don't know what he's training them on.
Wiggling.
Really.
Big wiggles.
He could do that. But, you can learn. This is the thing that guys don't understand about wrestling. And remember, I told you, it's not a job. It's a dream. And once you get there, you just wait for that dream to end, because it's going to end sometime. And hopefully you can stretch that, make a lot of money, and get out and then go do your life. Or you can stay in it if you want to be a trainer. But to me, I don't think that Norman Smiley would be my choice as a trainer. He can teach guys how to kind of half-ass shoot and get out of certain holes and all that. But the timing and the performing part of it, it takes a certain breed of person to do that. Terry Taylor's there. He can teach it. Tom Pritchard he runs his own school now. But this is not an easy business to learn. It's not. But it's not learning the business. It's getting somebody to give you that first break. And that's what you got to work on. You could be just average and get the first break, and somebody see something in you and keep you there. Take The Miz, for example. When I was with TNA, he sent me his pictures, and I was, he looked like there was potential there. And I says, okay, we'll bring him in. But by the time that we got to him, or I'd either somebody told me or I'd heard about it, but WWF, I think, our WWE, whatever they were then, they were interested in it. But I could see the potential. John Moxley sent me his photo and his resume, and I didn't see as much return in him as I actually saw in Miz, but I was still going to give him a shot, because he looked very serious, and because I think WWF got to him quicker than I did, but I think we could have trained them better, because we're going to put them right to work. WWE was going to send them to their training school and teach them their way. And this is what I'm saying about Vince. Vince had all these territories that he killed that he actually needed later on. Mm-hmm. Because that's all these territories he killed were places that the green talent or the new talent could have gone to and worked, in front of people almost every night, and got a feel for it. But Vince, in his ultimate wisdom, killed them all off. And he said, I'm going to make a big company here, but it kills the whole business. And it almost did. when he was building that WWF. Hey, and this is why guys got out of the business, because Vince had killed most of it, not by purpose, on purpose. It just, when he put his show on, it just killed all the little mom and pops, and there was nowhere to work.
Just before we get too far off the point, I was just looking at Smiley's match history and territory history, and he broke in Florida, then went straight to the UWF in Japan, which is the one where I think Akira Maeda knocked you out, or a version of the UWF. And then
you just had to bring that up.
I'm sorry, I did.
Hey, I still got brain damage from that spinning heel kick. I have dreams about it.
And then he sort of just like travels the world and then ends up in Mexico, where he ends up a fairly big star for CMLL as Black Magic. Then he goes to WCW, where he's treated like a jobber, and then he like trains people. It's such a weird career, Norman Smiley's, but he's been there for years, so obviously you see value in him as a trainer.
They like him there.
Yeah.